So one of many black women selling. Um, so she began to sell this stew, which is called pepper pot stew. So she made an interesting decision. It says the article says, right, instead of finding more discreet employment such as working as a domestic, she supported herself by selling pepper pot stew in one of the city's markets. According to Anderson, she had been seen numerous times over the past 18 months. One of the many black women selling the dish, Dinah, could essentially hide in plain sight from Anderson and anyone who hoped to collect the U.S. It was only like $4 to capture this woman. So that was the reward that was being offered. It is unclear how long she was able to evade Anderson, the article says, but the fact that she maintained her freedom for at least a year and a half is remarkable. Philadelphia's vagrancy docket is full of examples of freedom seekers who were apprehended almost immediately. So she was distinct. Her story is distinct in the fact that she was actually able to stay free for over a year and a half. Um, the article says that Dinah's ultimate fate is unknown. After Anderson's 3 newspaper notices, she disappears from the archive. She may have been captured and returned to Anderson, or it's possible that working as a pepper pot seller allowed her to gain her freedom permanently. So we don't know what happened to Dinah. I would like to imagine that Dinah, was smart enough to keep evading capture, and that she ended up being that free woman. But the fact that Anderson puts out 3 different bulletins to try to find her, I mean, it is ridiculous, right? To think that somebody would try to, control you the way these slave masters control their slaves. It's just sickening, actually. Um, so, anyways, I wanted to come back. So, Dinah's role as an informal trader echoed across the 19th century. Many black women took up the pepper pot trade, and some earned decent incomes. These women, in turn, contributed to a range of charitable, religious, and abolitionist organizations that formed the backbone of a vibrant black Philadelphia. They also helped support their families, even in an economic order that devalued black women's labor. As the United States celebrates its semi quintessential this year, many Americans will be reminded of the stories of popular Revolution era figures such as Paul Revere or George Washington, but I will be thinking of Dinah and the countless other black women who sold pepper pot stew on the streets of Philadelphia, the nation's first capital. To me, they symbolize the fragile hope, terrible failures, and tireless quest for true freedom that defined the founding era. So, thank you so much, Ms. Zola, for this wonderful article, because it just really took me down, to having a discourse on pepper pot in my own country. So the pepper pot, it sounds similar, but it's actually 2 different things, I believe. This pepper pot here has like carrots, and it has all sort of vegetables inside that they're talking about. So even though it has lots of meats inside, it is very, very. Okay, so let me read and tell you what it says. So pepper pot smoking hot. This is the actual ad that is showing, with a bunch of women at a market, and men, and it's quite interesting. So it's from the ad is from the 1800s or 1700s. Strangers who visit the city cannot but be amused with the cries of the numerous black women who sit in the market house and at the corner selling a soup which they call pepper pot. It is made chiefly of tripe, ox feet, and other cheap animal substances with a great portion of spice. It is sold very cheap so that a hungry man may get a hearty meal for a few cents. The print affords a good view of the group that often assemble around the tub, truly smoking hot and accepting to weak stomachs. It is a very pleasant feast. So at first, when I read this, I really thought that it was the pepper pot that we made here in Guyana. But as I went on to do more research, I found out that it had other ingredients in there, and I knew that it wasn't, because they were talking about things such as flour being in it. What else? My goodness. Let me see. Blue cotton coatee. Oh my God, no, that's not it. Oh, oh my goodness. Anyway, they were talking about different things that were in it that didn't make any sense to the pepper pot that we are accustomed to here in Guyana. Anyway, I'm just scanning my phone, and that's the reason why I'm trying to my other phone to try to see exactly what it is that. But this is a different ad on the same article, but with that said, I read in another article where they were talking about the Philadelphia soup, and in that one, it identified what it is that I was just trying to read as well, and they on that one, it's talking about. Let me go back. I'm gonna try to find it for you. It talks about that it has chicken in it and so on and so forth. So I knew once again it clarified that that is not the pepper pot that we're talking about. But nonetheless, I thought that the story on Dinah was so fascinating that I wanted to to really delve into that a little. And so, but let me bring you back to Guyanese pepper pot and what they have to say about it. So I read this article from I am thinking someone of Guyanese heritage. So they say Guyanese pepper pot is a Guyanese variation of pepper pot, a slow cooked stew found in several parts of the Caribbean and mainland Americas. It is traditionally served at Christmas and other special events, along with chicken curry and cook up rice. Pepper pot is one of Guyana's national dishes. The dish is usually reserved for special occasions because it needs to cook for several hours and mostly eaten on Christmas Day or during the Christmas holiday season and sometimes on Boxing Day. And Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. For those of us who don't know, I think it's like a British lend down of slavery in terms of they gave us their holiday and so we continue to celebrate it. So like the original Amerindian version, it is usually made in a large pot and can be reheated and eaten over several days because the kasri or kasrip starts preserving the meat. Traditionally, the dish is made using wiri peppers, and it but due to low availability outside of the country, Scotch bonnet or habanero peppers are commonly accepted substitutes due to their similar spice level and fruitiness and so on. Anyway, so it was quite interesting in how we do pepper pot in Guyana. Um, and how we do pepper pot in other countries around, like like the history of pepper pot, I should say. It's quite interesting.